everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm super excited because today we are going to be doing something new and something very fun. As some of you may know, casting was just released for this upcoming revival of Heathers off-Broadway, including names like Lorna Courtney as Veronica Sawyer, Casey Likes as JD, Mackenzie Kurtz as Heather Chandler, and just recently it was announced Carrie Butler is going to take on the role of Mrs. Fleming, which is going to be amazing. I love Carrie Butler so much, and I'm so excited to see what she's going to do with this character. It was also recently announced that actor Ralph Fiennes is going to be playing President Snow in the upcoming film of The Hunger Games: Sunrise on the Reaping, which is so exciting as well. I cannot wait to watch this movie. Now, seeing as casting was released for both Hunger Games and Heathers at around the same time, it got me wondering, what if the characters in Heathers had to fight to the death? And that's what we're going to be doing today. Today, I am putting the characters of Heathers the Musical into a Hunger Games simulation, and we are going to find out once and for all who would survive the Hunger Games in Heathers. Without further ado, let's get to it. Happy Hunger Games, and may the odds be ever in your favor. Let's take a look at the tributes reaped for this year's Hunger Games. Now, as we start off, everything's going to seem fine. However, the cast of Heathers is already pretty small, and there needs to be 24 tributes total. So if you see anything weird, keep that in mind. Our first group from District 1 is Veronica Sawyer and Heather Chandler, of course, the top two. From District 2, we have Heather Duke and Heather McNamara. Number 3, we have JD and, of course, his companion for life, the Slurpee from 7-Eleven. Next up in District 4, we have Ram and Kurt. District 5, we have Mrs. Fleming and Martha Dunstock. District 6, we have Mr. Sawyer and Mrs. Sawyer, also known as Veronica's mom and dad. I could not for the life of me find pictures of the actors who play Veronica's mom and dad, so we're just gonna go with stock images and pretend that these are the parents. In District 7, we have JD's dad and JD's mom. If you're confused about the public library profile picture, go rewatch the slime tutorial. In District 8, we have arguably the best pair in the Reaping, the Drano and the Barbecue Corn Nuts, an iconic duo. In District 9, we have Kurt's dad and Ram's dad. Cue Dead Gay Son. In District 10, we have the party guy and the stoner chick. If any of you have watched Illegal Heathers, you probably know of the guy who shouts party. I'm pretty sure this picture right here is the closest we have to the off-Broadway replica. And then, of course, we have the stoner chick. In District 11, this is where things start to get a little weird if they haven't gotten weird already. We have Heather Scrunchy and the Pinata. Moving on to the final two tributes from District 12, Veronica's Croquet Mallet and Heather Chandler's Croquet Mallet. Those are our 24 tributes today. I've also added a couple of random Heather-related events into the events planner. Hopefully they pop up. And without further ado, let the games begin. As the tributes stand on their podium, the horn sounds. Stoner Chick runs away from the cornucopia. Mr. Sawyer grabs a backpack and retreats. JD runs away from the cornucopia. JD's dad and Chandler's Croquet Mallet fight for a bag. JD's dad gives up and retreats. Come on, JD's dad, it's a croquet mallet. What's it gonna do? Heather Scrunchy runs away from the cornucopia. Ram runs away from the cornucopia. Party guy runs away with a lighter and some rope. Drano retrieves a trident from inside the cornucopia. Kurt runs away from the cornucopia. Heather Chandler runs away from the cornucopia. Veronica Sawyer, the Pinata, and 7-Eleven Slurpee work together to get as much supplies as possible. Veronica's Croquet Mallet runs away from the cornucopia. Mrs. Fleming runs away from the cornucopia. Heather Duke breaks Martha Dunstock's nose for a basket of bread. That sounds as close to character as possible. Heather McNamara runs away from the cornucopia. Barbecue Corn Nuts runs away from the cornucopia. Ram's dad stays at the cornucopia for resources. JD's mom runs away from the cornucopia. And finally, Mrs. Sawyer kills Kurt's dad with a hatchet. Oh my god. Wow. What a great start. Alright, let us proceed to day 1. Mr. Sawyer goes hunting. Chandler's croquet mallet begs for Veronica Sawyer to kill her. She refuses, keeping Chandler's croquet mallet alive. Stoner Chick receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. Ram kills Drano for his supplies. Damn, we're already off to a brutal start. Heather Scrunchy steals from the 7-Eleven Slurpee while it isn't looking. Ram's dad is pricked by thorns while picking berries. Heather Chandler collects fruit from a tree. Martha Dunstock makes a wooden spear. Heather Duke diverts Heather McNamara's attention and runs away. Veronica's croquet mallet receives an explosive from an unknown sponsor. I wonder who that unknown sponsor might be. Mrs. Sawyer and Barbecue Corn Nuts hunt for other tributes. Party Girl steals from JD while he isn't looking. JD's dad makes a slingshot. Kurt thinks about home. Mrs. Fleming and the piñata work together for the day. And JD's mom injures herself. 2 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Kurt's dad and Drano. R.I.P. Let us proceed to the first night. Barbecue Corn Nuts quietly hums. I don't think... Is that something that Corn Nuts can do? Well, Corn Nuts is participating in the Hunger Games, so we're kind of past logic. Stoner Chick convinces JD's mom to snuggle with her. Interesting. Veronica's croquet mallet fends Heather Duke, Veronica Sawyer, and Ram's dad away from the fire. The piñata receives clean water from an unknown sponsor. Chandler's croquet mallet attempts to start a fire but is unsuccessful. Heather Scrunchy receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor. Mrs. Sawyer receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. JD, Mrs. Fleming, and Heather Chandler cheerfully sing songs together. I wonder if they sang Candy Store or Big Fun. I feel like that's like one of the 2 things that they would sing. 7-Eleven Slurpee tends to Kurt's wounds. Ram kills Party Guy with a hatchet. Wow, okay. So we already have 1 death from night 1. JD's dad strangles Mr. Sawyer with a rope. I fear that might be kind of on character. Heather McNamara, hello? Heather McNamara receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. And Martha Dunstock thinks about home. Aww. Day 2. Here we go. Heather Scrunchy tries to spear fish with a trident. The piñata discovers a cave. Veronica's croquet mallet silently snaps Ram's neck. Wow, okay. Veronica Sawyer, Mrs. Sawyer, Kurt, and Heather McNamara. Again with the McNamara! Oh my god! McNamara raid Chandler's croquet mallet's camp while she's hunting. Heather Chandler searches for firewood. Ram's dad shoots an arrow at Martha Dunstock, but misses and kills JD's dad instead. Wow. Must be the revenge for the dead gay son. I love my dead gay son. I love my dead gay son. Da, da, da. Barbecue Corn Nuts and JD's mom split up to search for resources. Stoner Chick receives fresh food from an unknown sponsor. JD and Mrs. Fleming split up to search for resources. And Heather Duke and the 7-Eleven Slurpee split up to search for resources. 4 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Party Guy, R.I.P. Party Guy, Mr. Sawyer, Ram, and JD's dad. R.I.P. to the Demolition Company. On to night 2. Veronica Sawyer screams for help. Pretty on character of her. Veronica's croquet mallet and the piñata run into each other and decide to truce for the night. JD's mom thinks about home. Kurt passes out from exhaustion. Heather Chandler and Mrs. Sawyer tell stories about themselves to each other. Barbecue Corn Nuts and Martha Dunstock tell stories about themselves to each other. Heather Duke climbs a tree to rest. The 7-Eleven Slurpee loses sight of where it is. Mrs. Fleming and Stoner Chick hold hands. It must be a hippie thing. Chandler's croquet mallet questions its sanity. I think if I was a sentient croquet mallet, I would too. Heather McNamara climbs a tree to rest. Heather Scrunchy receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. JD receives clean water from an unknown sponsor. And Ram's dad attempts to start a fire but is unsuccessful. Alright, it's 3 days now. So I'm sure there's going to be a lot of violence that ensues. Stoner Chick travels to higher ground. Kurt, Veronica Sawyer, JD's mom, and Barbecue Corn Nuts hunt for other tributes. Heather Duke defeats Martha Dunstock in a fight, but spares her life. Interesting character decision. Mrs. Sawyer stalks Ram's dad. Mrs. Fleming tends to 7-Eleven Slurpee's wounds. Chandler's croquet mallet sets an explosive off, killing Veronica's croquet mallet and Heather Chandler. No! I can't believe it. Her own croquet mallet killed her in the end. I was really kind of hoping that the Drano would kill her. But anyways, JD tries to spear Fish with the trident. Heather Scrunchy defeats the pinata in a fight, but spares its life. And Heather McNamara dies of dysentery? No! In the arms of the angels. 3 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Veronica's croquet mallet, Heather Chandler, and Heather McNamara. There's only one Heather left. Will she win? Who knows? Night 3. Kurt goes to sleep. Heather Duke receives clean water from an unknown sponsor. Stoner Chick sees a fire but stays hidden. The pinata is awoken by nightmares. The 7-Eleven Slurpee screams for help. Veronica Sawyer cooks her food before putting her fire out. JD receives a hatchet from an unknown sponsor. Barbecue corn nuts and Mrs. Fleming huddle for warmth. Ram's dad lets JD's mom into his shelter. Martha Dunstock and Heather Scrunchy huddle for warmth. Mrs. Sawyer thinks about winning. And Chandler's croquet mallet passes out from exhaustion. Mrs. Sawyer tries to spear Fish with a trident. JD diverts Heather Scrunchy's attention and runs away. JD's mom dies trying to escape the arena. R.I.P. JD's mom. You had a fighting chance in you. Heather Duke searches for a water resource. Martha Dunstock, the pinata, and Ram's dad hunt for other tributes. Veronica Sawyer stabs barbecue corn nuts with a tree branch. Damn! Stoner Chick receives medical supplies from an unknown sponsor. Kurt explores the arena. 7-Eleven Slurpee, Chandler's croquet mallet, and Mrs. Fleming get into a fight. Chandler's croquet mallet triumphantly kills them both. Heather Chandler's croquet mallet is on a killing spree. It killed the 7-Eleven Slurpee. 4 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. JD's mom, barbecue corn nuts, the 7-Eleven Slurpee, and Mrs. Fleming. R.I.P. Night 4. Kurt cannot handle the circumstances and commits suicide. I feel like if Ram isn't there, his gay lover, then he can't survive without him. R.I.P. dead gay son. Veronica Sawyer and Heather Duke talk about the tribute still alive. Ram's dad sets an explosive off, killing Mrs. Sawyer. Ooh. Heather Scrunchy tries to treat her infection. Chandler's croquet mallet silently snaps JD's neck. Guys, I fear Heather Chandler's croquet mallet may win this. I fear she is eating everyone up. R.I.P. JD. Martha Dunstock receives an explosive from an unknown sponsor. The pinata climbs a tree to rest, and the Stoner Chick is awoken by nightmares. I'm surprised the Stoner Chick is still in the running. Wow. We have entered the feast. The cornucopia is replenished with food, supplies, weapons, and memoirs from the tribute's families. Stoner Chick decides not to go to the feast. Very smart. Heather Duke and Chandler's croquet mallet threaten a double suicide. It fails and they die. The croquet mallet died! Chandler's croquet mallet, no, you were so much smarter than this. Okay, so now we have all the Heathers dead, plus Heather Chandler's croquet mallet. Wow. Veronica Sawyer gathers as much food into a bag as she can before fleeing. Heather Scrunchy decides not to go to the feast. The pinata overpowers Ram's dad, killing him. How do you die to a pinata? Martha Dunstock accidentally steps on a landmine, of course. Entering day 5, Heather Scrunchy kills the Stoner Chick while she's resting. And Veronica Sawyer kills the pinata while it's resting. Guys, it is down to Veronica Sawyer or a Scrunchy. I feel like this is the most Heather thing to happen. 9 cannon shots can be heard in the distance. Kurt, Mrs. Sawyer, JD, Heather Duke, Chandler's croquet mallet, Ram's dad, Martha Dunstock, Stoner Chick, and the pinata. Guys, we're about to see who wins this Hunger Games. Is it going to be Veronica Sawyer, the protagonist of this musical? Or is it going to be a red Scrunchy? Veronica Sawyer spears Heather Scrunchy in the abdomen. Well, Here we go. The winner is Veronica Sawyer from District 1. I actually can't believe she won. I was not expecting that, to be honest, but of course she did, because she survives anything. She literally survived a high school explosion. This was actually really fun. I'm a little disappointed though, because I did have a couple of events in here. Hold on, I had a bunch of them. I had a day event, a couple day events where someone plays croquet, 2 people share a bag of corn nuts, 3 people play croquet together, and then, oh, I had one here, a fatal event, where player 1 sneaks Drano into player 2's drink while they aren't looking, and they drink it and die. Other than that, I had a really fun time making this. I think I really want to do maybe a Hamilton one next, or potentially Les Miserables. That one would be really fun. So if you want me to do Hunger Games simulations for any other musicals, make sure to comment them down below. Also, if you haven't checked out my first video, you should watch it. It's gonna be here, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye!